Montegonian charged for attempted murder of policeman in Florida. Gunmen shoot two persons over the weekend. PNP lost popularity momentum, while a DC arrested for smuggling weed into jail. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. The opposition People's National Party has lost momentum in the race towards the next general parliamentary election, slipping almost 4 points since the last poll was done in September of last year. In the latest RGR Gleaner Commission done Anderson poll, 35.4% of respondents said that they would vote for the PNP against 30.7% for the GLP. And the poll was conducted late in January to mid-February this year and canvassed responses from 1,201 registered voters across the country. In the September poll last year, 39.3% of people said they would vote for the PNP, while in the latest poll that percentage had dropped to 35.4%. In September of 2024, 30.2% of respondents expressed support for the GLP, and in the latest exercise, 30.7% said the same. The PNP lead of 9.1% in September has therefore dropped to 4.7%. The Kingston Western Police have laid charges against a district constable caught smuggling contraband into the Maximum Security Horizon Adult Remand Center. 25-year-old Constable Robert Campbell has been charged with dealing in ganja and bringing prohibited articles into the correctional center. The district constable, who is attached to Detention and Courts Division, was charged following a ruling by the Director of Public Prosecutions. And investigators reported that on Friday, February 21st, about 7 a.m., Constable Campbell was at work when a small parcel fell from his pocket. He reportedly stepped on the item, and this aroused the suspicion of his supervisor. The object was then retrieved by the supervisor and found to be vegetable matter resembling ganja. His knapsack was also searched in his presence, and several parcels containing vegetable matter resembling ganja, some resembling tobacco, a USB cable, and $20,000 in cash were found. A pack of rolling paper and a lighter were also found, and Constable Campbell was taken into custody, and a file was prepared and submitted to the office of the DPP, who ruled that he be arrested. A Montego-Bay St. James man, 32-year-old Reese Anglin, has been charged with the attempted murder of two policemen in Florida in the U.S. The Jamaican, whose immigration status is not known, has been charged alongside Tafari Elliott for the incident that unfolded in Lauderhill on February 12, according to the Broward County Sheriff's Office. According to a statement from the BSO on February 12, members of its Gang Investigations Task Force were conducting an operation at the Calypso K apartment in the 4100 block of Northwest 21st Street when they were confronted by two armed men who pointed guns at the law enforcement officers. The BSO deputy drew his gun, identified himself as a law enforcement officer, and commanded the men to put down their guns. The men refused and instead opened fire at the officer, who returned gunfire. BSO said Elliott was struck but fled the scene. He was later taken into custody within the apartment complex and transported to the Broward Health Medical Center. Anglin, who also fled the scene, was picked up 2 days later in Tampa. He and Elliott have been charged with 2 counts of attempted murder of a law enforcement officer, and the officers were not injured during the altercation, and detectives recovered several firearms at the scene. The BSO said the incident is now under police investigations. An unidentified man was shot and killed by men traveling on a motorcycle along Constant Spring Road near its intersection with Dunrobin Avenue while traveling in a Mercedes-Benz SUV on Sunday morning. The man was reportedly one of at least 2 occupants of what has been described as a Mercedes-Benz GLE. He was rushed to hospital where he was pronounced dead. And another man was shot dead in his car at the entrance to the community of Hatfield in Manchester on Sunday as well. He has been identified by the police and relatives as 47-year-old Neville Baker. Preliminary reports are that about 10 a.m., a gunman attacked Baker while he was seated inside his car and opened fire. Baker was subsequently seen slumped over the driver's seat in his Honda motor car. A police source said Baker had several run-ins with the law and served prison time for firearm offenses. Last year, he was among 3 men arrested and charged with the larceny of agricultural produce. The Island Traffic Authority, the ITA, is reporting that 60 people have been killed in 55 fatal crashes up to Friday, February 28, and this represents a 15% decrease in fatalities, which is 11 fewer deaths and a 13% decline in fatal crashes when compared with a similar period in 2024. So far, 16 pedestrians have been killed, accounting for 27% of the fatalities since the start of the year. 14 motorcyclists have been killed, accounting for 23%, with private motor vehicle drivers also accounting for 14 deaths and 23% of the fatalities since January 1. And according to statistics provided by the ITA in its daily crash report, 6 private motor vehicle passengers have also been killed, and they account for 10% of road deaths this year. The parish of St. Andrew has so far recorded 18% of the fatalities. Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland combined account for 33%, while Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth account for 22%. On to sports, there were no Premier League games last night. This is due to the referees withdrawing their services for non-payment from the Jamaica Players Association, who is responsible for paying them. Close to 50 referees have not been paid since the start of this year and are currently owed around $8 million. A source familiar with the situation said strike action had been brewing since October of last year due to an apparent change in the scheduling of payments to the referees. 7 games were scheduled, and last night when I logged on to watch at least a snippet, all I saw were postponed, postponed, postponed. Jamaica Referees Association President Valdin Legister said that the referees have been continuously mistreated by the relevant bodies and can no longer tolerate the situation, so they are now on strike. Football. Falmouth United meantime extend their winning run in the Jamaica Football Federation Championship when they beat Duncans United 3-0 in the parish derby at Trelawney Multipurpose Stadium in Florence Hall. Their 16-point tally places them atop Zone B ahead of Treasure Beach FC and Rena of Westmoreland, who are tied on 10 points each. The Westmoreland-based Rena lost back-to-back games when they were outscored 4-2 by Holland PYC at home. Reno FC played with 10 men from the 11th minute when Gavin Henry was sent off, and Reno have failed to win in their last 3 games after starting the season with 3 straight victories. And if you missed the news on this station, please go to YouTube, type in Jamaican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, subscribe to keep us going. That's news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. Have a wonderful day. I gone.